Yo, how's it going, guys? Here's my final Pre-Melodious Zefra video. These are all the videos I still have from before the Melodious cards came out. So my next Zefra video after this will be with Melodious cards or from the event. You can kind of see the deck list in the back here. If you want to see the full deck list, stick around to the end of the video, or at least like mute the video or something and just let it run in the background. Just for the algorithm really helps me out. All right, let's get straight into the replays. All right, we're gonna be leading off with a game where we lose the coin flip and go first. So it's Tenpai, right? No need to sugarcoat it. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and lead with this. See if they ash us or anything, so we can like still get the rest of our plays through. Nothing's coming out, but I'm getting a trigger. And when I activate my scales here, they're going to max me. So I'm going to call them out on this just being Tenpai. So I grab the 9 pillars here. We grab another counter trap here. And we're going to go ahead and just make Baguska. So the reason we search the 9 pillars is because A, we can just find the Divine Strike, and B, we're not actually removing the the Zefra off the field. So Divine Strike isn't actually live. We're getting Divine Strike live after popping Zefra with 9 pillars. But we don't have to do anything against any of their engine because it just dies instantly to Baguska. The counter traps are just to protect against board breakers. And yeah, they can't play, so we just win for free. Alright, so here we got a game against, well, it turns out it's Trickstar. They're going to lead off by just maxing me here. Right when I go for my first summon. So I'm just going to go for Village plus Baguska here. I feel like that's a pretty good, pretty safe option. It just beats all the board breaks and everything. Tenpai can't play through it anyways. And I get nibbed here. So fortunately, I still have the Gate Magician in hand. So I can still set up the Secret Village here. They do have the out to it like on the field already, right? They just have the nib. Nice royal rare, by the way. But at least I get to survive here because they need to out my spellcast before they can start playing. Now they are going to start playing here, and I'm going to take a decently scary amount of burn damage now on my turn, because whenever I draw a card, each of them will burn me for 200 plus an additional 200 more per burn off of the field spell. So every time I add a card to my hand, I lose 800 life points, and this isn't just from the deck, it's also from the extra deck. So it's kind of awkward. So we're going to go ahead and grab the Oracle of Zefra here. And we're going to go for the Igprom. Shuffle back the Nib because it's big. The other guys I don't really care about. I get a negate before I go to the battle phase. And I'm very low on time here, so I misplay and I don't properly read this. Coralbane increases his monster's attack, which does absolutely nothing because it's in defense position. This is completely worthless. I was on like 15 seconds though, so I just skimmed it. It was like, oh, it's kind of like honest. I better just negate this. I wasn't expecting to have much more, right? So I attack here, and yeah, thankfully I didn't attack with the Primal Being token, or I was just dead to the Bahama that suddenly comes out. If I negated this, I win the game here. Yeah, kind of unfortunate that I didn't just win. But they're going to go ahead and start with the Spooky Dogwood, whatever. I'm going to negate Candina because I know this can burn me. I'm very low on health. Even whenever they inflict battle damage, it burns me. And now if I activate a spell or trap card, I'm going to take 200 from this, 200 from the field spell, and I will just lose instantly. So fortunately, I find a level 2 tuner. The Boral Savage has been spent, has no more negates, so we're going to go ahead and just use it for the Baron. Baron also gives me the pop, and I shouldn't activate the O-line here. It just plays into random stuff, like apparently the Gravedigger's Trap Hole, without actually giving me any meaningful advantage. Like, I don't need the token in this game state, so there's no point in activating. So I'm forced to negate this. Good thing I got the negate, right? And we're going to non-target spin back just as back row, pop this guy, and we get to swing for game here. All right, back again with another banger. Here we're gonna be playing against, turns out it's Shining Sarc, which is pretty crazy. So we lead with the Dragon Shrine because yellow-red is already combo, and this is the least committal play we can make. It doesn't eat our normal summon, it doesn't commit like scales to the board, it doesn't reveal much deck knowledge or anything, and it eats the Imperm here. So I'm going to go ahead and set up yellow red, which is just our normal play anyways. And we're going to go ahead and make an electromite here. We're going to be searching for the guitar, clearing our scale here as well. And we're going to go for our pen summon first. We want to make an Apo here. Note how I'm only summoning the two guys from the extra deck. I'm smelling some disruption coming out here, and I want to make an Appaloosa here, and either they nib here, which they do, and then I still just make Aurodon, or they don't, and then I have Apo, and then I make Aurodon. So we're gonna go with board blocker here. Go ahead and make this, and this is gonna end on Baron plus a counter trap that we're gonna of course grab through the Denglong. And we're going to use the Baron because we want to clear the Nib token here. Or just the Nib, because it's a dude that can beat over my guy. He can like beat over Zefra, and then my counter trap will be dead. So Shining Sarcophagus says it can't be destroyed by monster effects. So if he activates the effect, because I can negate cards or effects with Baron. So even if he like uses like the search effect here, I can negate that, but I can't actually destroy the Shining Sarc and it stays on the field. However, he is currently activating it, so if I negate the activation of it, it's pretty much my opponent has the card in his hand, and he's like, hey, I activate this card, and while he's placing it down on the field, I say, wait, you've activated my trap card. That's actually a synchro monster, and it never reaches the field, so its continuous effects aren't live yet. And that cannot be destroyed by monster effects is a continuous like thing. He doesn't like activate to not be destroyed by monster effects. So that's the reason for the ruling why I can negate this. I have to negate the activation. Kind of sucks because actually it's just, no, it's not actually soft once per turn. So I get punished if he has another copy, right? So he has another copy. And since this can only negate the activations of spell or trap cards and not the effects, I have to use it here again as well. So I'm out of disruptions now, but he's on 2 cards, and he has no Shining Sarcs because we just got rid of 2 of them already, right? And fortunately, it's just enough, and we still managed to win this. All right, here we got a nice going second game for you guys. It's kind of wild, and I have to play around a lot of what's not exactly public information. It's like you can make educated guesses, essentially, right? So for example, here he's going to go for the Dragon Drive, and we're gonna pay attention to what he's gonna search here. So Dino's gonna revive a guy. That's a lot of royals. That's very aesthetic actually. And he's searching Xiamen. So this means he's searching for follow-up. So he probably already has enough disruption that he feels safe with, because you can actually add any level 3 psychic monster from your deck to your hand. And that includes Ghost Ogre, which is usually what people are going to be adding. So since he didn't grab that, we can expect him to have the Ghost Ogre already. Other disruption he has is the Shirakusai will quick synchro into here the Amazing Dragon, which gets to spin cards from my field back to my hand, up to the number of level 3 psychic monsters with different names he controls and has in the graveyard. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and I'm expecting an ogre for 4. So I'm expecting him to spin around 4 cards. And since he didn't search a trap card, like a punk one, I'm going to assume that he probably has one. It's going to be a pauper, like the Imperm thing. I'm going to assume it's Imperm. I'm going to see if we can maybe like bait some stuff here. So we're going to leave with the Dark Worm. He lets us resolve, go for Gate Magician, summon this out. Now, because he has all these spins, I want to keep my pen summon as long as possible. See if I can force out some disruption or something before I commit into my pendulum summon. So it's actually just normal Imperm. Maybe he's just not playing the traps, or the line just didn't work out that way. Here we're going to use the guitar because this lets me get into Apple before my pen summon, and the Ghost Ogre comes out. So we were expecting this. This wasn't public knowledge because he didn't add it off of this, but we can infer that he has it because he didn't add it off of this. So yeah, we're using that first. So Zefrath resolves. The reasoning for this is if Zefrath is if I use Zefrath and it gets popped, it's kind of awkward, but I can still summon back out the guitar and everything. So I feel kind of fine. I'm going to pen summon as much stuff as possible here is my goal. So even if he spins back a whole ton of guys, I can still make plays. So I think here you should probably put back maybe the Electromize may be threatening. We're gonna get rid of the tuner for sure. And then I don't know, probably some machines. I think most constellations of him spinning stuff back, it keeps me off of Rorodon. So here we're going to summon back out the Zefranyu with the Exceed the Pendulum, because the Providence gets me to my counter trap, but I need to have a Zefra name in my extra deck. And it was in my hand. I don't have a normal summon. That's the only way to get it out there. Actus Code is going to go ahead and clear his field here. And while I can't find lethal, playing unevenly here as well by popping this in main phase 2. While I can't find lethal, I do have a counter trap, and he's at 300 life. And as you can see, all these P.U.N.K cards pay 600 life points, pay 600 life points. What's this guy say? You can pay 600 life points to do stuff. Whoa, that's crazy. This guy pays 600 life points. We know he has Yaman in hand, pays 600 life points to do stuff. So he can't really use any of his effects. So I feel pretty safe here, and I'm going to keep my counter trap for something that actually threatens my game state. So E-Telly does nothing because Xiamen has to pay 600 life points. Now he's going to go for a bunch of Tri-Brigade stuff. That's kind of awkward. Now he normal summons a guy and uses his effect. And this is a massive choke point. He can't use his normal summon. He loses all of these guys. He has just one body that does nothing. And he's going to surrender here. Alright, we're going to have another wonderful game. If you check the top right corner here, it's going to have the tail symbol. So we've lost the coin flip, and our opponent has selected going second once again. We're playing against Tenpai. We're going to go ahead and get ashed on our Dark Worm normal summon. It's not the best of hands here, but it's honestly pretty decent. And I keep getting triggers here, so I'm expecting it to possibly be an Imperm, maybe a Veiler. But so instead of going for a Baguska and backing up with counter traps, which is very strong against Tenpai, they can't actually do anything against Baguska except like have board breakers. And I protect it with my counter traps. But what I'm thinking about here is if it's just Imperm, I can negate it and I win, right? If he has Imperm plus Droplets, I just lose the game instantly. So to play around Imperm plus Droplets, I'm actually going to not make Baguska and go for an Electromite here, because that is 100% going to eat an infinite impermanence. And now I still have 2 counter traps here to check like a back row removal and a piece of engine or something. I have some good follow-up and everything as well. And if he has like a Droplets, I really don't care, right? So Chandra is just going to get spun back. I'm going to protect this. Probably should have destroyed this so I could just send another one next turn. I got a bit greedy with the protection here. And turns out he has Droplets. So yeah, good thing I didn't go for Baguska there. I didn't even realize this while looking at it, right? Just when I went through the recording. But if I had one Baguska, he just Droplet pitches Imperm. I can't do any negation stuff. I lose instantly, right? The game is lost. So it's actually very good that we went for this play. We got rewarded for playing around the outs to our board. And the Droplets doesn't actually matter here. I'm more worried about whatever the other back row is, right? I'm just going to keep my negate up for that one. So we're going to go ahead and make Exceed the Pendulum here. And we're going to make sure we keep a guy in the extra deck. You can see I could have pen summoned the third Zefra, but I'm keeping it in the extra deck to keep the Divine Strike live. He has the Kaiman here, and we're going to just negate it, and they scoop. All right, we're starting at the end of this turn because we're going second against Branded. We can see he set the Branded Retribution. He has the Lost here, which gives him access to Mercurier. There's the Mirror Jade. So we're going to go ahead and lead with Pakaushi. And he's going to just banish it so I can't get the Surge with P.U.N.K. Scale Secret Effect. If your opponent controls 2 or more monsters and you don't control any monsters, you can actually special summon this guy from your hand for free. Don't mind this Imperm. We'll just pretend it never happened. Not really sure. Maybe he thought I was getting back the guy from Bash. I don't know. So it turns out he already has a Mercurier. This effect isn't actually once per turn, which I wasn't paying attention to either. So I was prepared to just normal summon this and then keep playing afterwards. But then I realized, wait, it's still glowing yellow. I can just use it again. So pretty bad disruptions coming out here. But I mean, we take those, right? We're still playing through some disruptions, I guess. This is a miss sequence here as well. So you can see I added the motorbike and then I used it. And I know he has Retribution. So I know Scarecrow is never resolving in a billion years. So there's no point in getting the Soul Peacemaker. So I'm just going to get something to keep playing afterwards. So it does happen. But he could have potentially played around this now. And I should have just used the search afterwards. Anyways, we got the Astrograph for free, which lets me normal summon for an Electromite here. Pop the Wakaushi, summon out the Astrograph again, grab the Wakaushi back, and the random draw gives me this guy, which is amazing because now I get to summon out some more tuners. So we're going to go ahead, resolve all of our searches here, and then we're going to make a Baron to just have some insulation before we go into our Ignister Prominence, which wins the game on the spot against this deck because Secret Village turns off all branded cards essentially, and the Ignister Prominence gets to shuffle back the Mirror Jade, so it doesn't even get to blow up the field or anything cool. And yeah, we just win. This is going to be the only enjoyable duel against Kashtira you'll ever see in your entire life. And it has a lot to do with them just not making a Rise Heart. Yeah, maybe they were playing like TCG Cash or something, but this is a lot more manageable. Feels like a nice control deck. So the only reason I could think of for them not making Rise Heart here is that their hand has powerful hand traps that need to get sent to the graveyard. So I'm expecting Maxx, definitely. I'm expecting probably like maybe an Ogre, a Droll, maybe Veiler or something. Like they probably have multiples of those. So they'd want to stack that with both of these disruptions instead of just having only a Rise Heart, which is a lot worse against like board breakers, or like if I have like an Imperm or something, he just loses, right? So that's what I'm expecting. And none of this stuff comes out. Yeah, so that's why I'm not going through the field spell here. I'm expecting a Droll, so I'm just going straight for Zefra here. I just want enough bodies, like even if he Drolls me, I don't think I need like the counter trap for it. And we go for a big chain. We're putting this on chain link 1, chain link 2, and we're chain blocking all of this. Now it's important that we have the Thuban on the lower chain link to pop both of these cards, and then we have the Zefra Naga on the higher chain link to protect our Zefrath from being destroyed. I really don't want to deal with Fenrir because that can really mess me up here. And I figure Unicorn is just going to banish like Electromite or something, right? They always hit Electromite. Like even if you're not playing a pen deck, just put Electromite in your extra deck so Cash will rip it. And we're gonna go ahead and go for a Aurora Online here. I don't care about him banishing my graveyard here, but for some reason, this doesn't get to lethal, which is like super awkward, honestly. So it kind of turns into a bit of a grind game here. We're gonna have some counter traps, and we're gonna have the Boral Savage. We have the Secret Village as well. Smack over this guy. And I need to negate the birth bringing stuff back every turn using my Savage Dragon. And I don't really have a way to destroy it. as of right now, right? Like, of course, we can use Auroradon to pop it next turn. So they're going to summon 2 ogres, beat over all my stuff. They're going to be very sure to not use ogre's effect because that would let me out them with my counter traps. And we fortunately find the Oracle of Zefra, which we can set and then flip. This is going to out me being locked into spells, and it's going to out his back row because I get to search for the Zefraxiton. And this Zefraxiton also gets to pop my my Zefra guy for like another search. And funnily enough, I can pen summon 6s, so we get back our Yang Zing name on the field. I still can't be over these guys, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'm just going to use Birth. I'm going to negate it, but unfortunately it doesn't destroy it. The Oasis here is going to get 9-pillared. I'm going to pop this, search for some follow-up. I think this is like the last Zefra card in my deck at this point. And he beats over the Zefraxiton. Or I think I have like a Thuban or something left. And any level 4 tuner access just wins here. And Wings of Light is Lightworm. So we get to normal summon our level 4 tuner. And summon out the 6 here. And that just makes Baron, which is going to let us blow up his field. And just swing for game. So he's going to surrender here. Alright guys, for our final game, we're going to be playing against Infernoble. And they Maxx us. So our hand kind of is not like the best, right? But it could be worse. Could be worse. We're going to use the Zefrath, and we have the P.U.N.K as our low scale. We get to actually search the Soul Piercer because we have the Peacemaker here. It's going to get us a ton of bodies here. I'm going to go ahead and search for the Divine Strike because I feel like I want to make the Secret Village here. I think that gives me more value. Exceed the Pendulum is my spellcaster. And I'm going to go for Baguska here. So instead of Baguska counter trap, I give him, what is it? So Baguska counter trap would have been like 3 draws. I give him 5. Yeah, 5 draws to also end on the Secret Village. Because this isn't really a board that can be broken trivially. Because there's no Kaijus or anything. Of course, Imperm threatens the Baguska, so we're going to negate that because I value this a lot more, as it also protects my Exceed, which I need for my Secret Village here to be live. And he's going to search for here, this thing. It's essentially just a Book of Moon. He gets off the Flame Swordsman package here. It's pretty cool. I'm going to turn Baguska to attack to prepare for my pen summon. He's going to flip it face down, and we're going to just pen summon out a ton of bodies. At this point, the game is pretty much just over. We have so much advantage. I'm going to go ahead and Think Climb into an Appaloosa here using the Electromite. I want to also go for a Vortex Line or something. I forgot I'm not running it. So, yeah, but just a bunch of beaters. I have negates. And they scoop it up here. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Here is, as promised, the deck list for this variant that I was playing. So if you want to give this a try, be sure to let me know how it worked out for you. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.